wanted to talk to you just so we could reflect on your journey in my mentorship program and just wrap it up. It's been a good
Mhm.
4 months.
It's been a journey for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I want to talk about. So let's just first talk about, where were you before you joined the mentorship program 4 months ago?
I wasn't like I was hesitant because I didn't know what to expect. And I feel like as humans, like when we don't know what to expect, we have fear as like, oh, is this gonna work? Is it not gonna work? You know what I mean? So, but I took like the leap of faith, and I took the mentorship, and then I just knew that as long as I applied myself and worked hard every day, that it was only going to be a matter of time where my success was going to start reflecting all that hard work that I was putting in. So, but from there to now, definitely my confidence is like phew, through the sky right now. But still, I'm still learning, and as every day goes, like the market, you can't predict it. You gotta like just let it do its thing, and then you react. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned. And then just finding my edge and trusting my plan, to be honest. That took me a while. That took me one blown account just to come back and then learn again. And then now that like okay, I'm on my 8 day win, like I'm on an 8 day winning streak. And I mean I'm just trying to get better every single day because I know that the market is like very humbling. There's one day it could be so high and the next day so low. So it's like just playing the game for what it is and just trying to get better every day. My patience and entry and exits have been really good. And just from here on out, it's just a matter of time of upscaling my account and going from there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And yeah, I mean, I've seen it firsthand from you. You came in here knowing, I mean, you came in here a couple months ago. You knew about trading since you were 18 years old, and you kind of put it on the back burner for like 3 years. And then
Yeah.
you decided, hey, you know what? Uh, some stuff was going on with your job in the medical field, and you realized that you needed to learn a skill to make income from anywhere, and you decided that that would be trading. So how did you first get into trading, learn about it, and what actually motivated you to start?
So I was introduced to trading by one of my cousins. He's been trading for a couple of years now, like about 7 or so. And he had first showed me like he or asked me if I knew about the market, and I was like, oh, I've heard of it, and I just never really like got to actually learn it. And from there, it just caught my attention because he exposed me to it, and he had told me, oh, like yeah, like you can do this, and like there's no limit to like the possibilities that can happen. And that caught my attention. I was like, okay, like if I just learn this skill, then I can like pretty much have this for the rest of my life. And if I like in the future teach people, so from there it was I was 18, and like I said, like for 3 years I was in and out, like okay, yeah, the stock market, this and that, but I never really committed to it because I was afraid, to be honest, because I was like, dang, like this is like this is big money also, but also like at the same time you can lose a lot, you can win a lot. So but mentally I don't think I was mature like yet, so I feel like everything happened for a reason, so from there, and then on Instagram, it's crazy, like you had popped up on a reel, and it's crazy because like our algorithm's different, like you're like East Coast, I'm California. And I seen the way you were teaching, and for some reason it just caught my attention. And I knew I wanted to get into something because I know that you need multiple streams of income to in order to fulfill like the goals and dreams that I want to have and I want to do, So um, wanted to do this skill because I was like, all right, it's either going to do Amazon FBA or get into the market. But I mean, I was like, okay, like Amazon's a whole different thing, and I haven't like heard about it. I mean, I've heard about it, but I don't know anybody that's doing it, and I've always wanted to get into the market. So from there, basically the curiosity led me to text you, and then we connected, and then from there we got our first call, and which was in May, and then I entered the mentorship, and I was just putting countless hours of work because I was like, yeah, I want to get so good at this. Like it's just a matter of time. I know, like I always trusted myself and I always had confidence in myself because for me, like I've been in the gym for 6 years, it's like, so if I apply those habits to this skill, it's only a matter of time that I'm gonna get to where I want to be because regardless, like you can't get to level 10 without the first nine. So you're gonna stumble and fall, there's gonna be setbacks, but that's nothing compared to what's gonna come up when you keep going. So basically from all that, I learned the skill and now we're here, 4 months later, making trades. And I mean, I don't take your signals. I mean, I look at your pre-market plans, and then if it's like aligns with mine, I'm like, oh shit, like this is good. Like we're actually like having the same plan and not having to ask or like take the signals. I'm doing it on my own, which is very, very big, which is honestly something that needs to be emphasized on like other traders because they just like to take the trade off the signals, but they're never going to learn by like doing it by themselves. So that's something that we all got to go through because you're not going to be successful like from the beginning. It takes time, just like anything. You got to do trial and error, fail, come back, fail again, and then just one day to the next, you just boom. So um, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. I'm not stuck anymore, getting confident, and hopefully we'll see for the years to come where we're at.
Yeah, definitely. And I love to hear that. And I mean, before you joined my mentorship program 4 months ago, did you really have any prior experience with trading? Did you take any other courses? What was your initial experience with trading?
I didn't take any courses actually. I just kind of like looked at the market like here and there, and I was intrigued, but I wasn't committed to investing into a mentor or anything yet because I was I knew I wanted to do it, but I was like, dang, like it's kind of expensive. But in reality, like this skill, you're gonna gain back all that within like the first couple months. You know what I mean? Like you got to see things as an investment rather than the price tag. So it's definitely worth the price and definitely worth the skill and knowledge that you're gonna learn from this for sure, 100%. Because once you can conquer this and you master this, like you're gonna be like, dude, like the price he paid is like you're making that in minutes or hours, versus like, oh dang, it took me this long to save up this amount. Like it's the way you gotta see things when as they're an investment, you have to see as like, okay, like this is gonna help my future. This is not something that's gonna set you back. If anything, it's gonna be a catalyst to get to that point where you wanted to be from 10 years to like 5 years, especially with this skill.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Definitely.
it's
And
definitely worth.
I 100% agree. But obviously we know there's ups and downs with trading. And it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not always easy. So could you share any specific challenges you faced when you first started trading and how you overcame that?
So some challenges, well, I actually have had a lot of challenges to be honest. More of like being an impulse trader, trading revenge trading, being impatient, not letting information develop. I blew my first account. Like there was a lot to it, but now that I reflect on that, I'm like, okay, you have to go through this. This is like your tuition you pay. You got to pay your tuition first and then you learn. And then it's like you have a light bulb moment and then everything just starts to click and you just start to realize like it's all probability percentage, like everything just starts to click, like when have you ever watched the movie Hangover when Alan's like at the table and he's doing like mathematical equations in his head,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like that, it's like it just starts to make sense and you're like, oh dang, like this whole time, if I just knew this, then this would have made sense. But yeah, like, and then I started putting like the market's like a puzzle. You start putting pieces together, and then it starts making sense. Like now, I figured out I have my own edge. Like I still use supply and demand, but I also have like opening and print. I always have different things that like are extra confluence to as to why I take the trade. So it's just a matter of learning a system that works for you, refining it, and then okay, going with that, and then every single day repeating that, repeating the same thing. And from there, it's just not being greedy. Being greedy is definitely a big thing too. Take what the market gives you. And okay, if you some days you can have a $35 day, some days you have like 1,000. Just take it what it gives you. As long as you're green then red, that's all we care about. And that's all you should care about. So no matter the price, it's just there's always another trade to make. So it's definitely been a journey for sure. Like psychology wise, I had to overcome bad habits. And to this day, like I mean, there's still some like errors here and there, but they're a lot less than the ones I was taking before. So it's definitely a journey, and knowing yourself within the market. Like there's a lot to improve daily.
Yes, definitely. I definitely do agree. Yeah, I mean, what do you think was that light bulb moment for you, when everything just started clicking together?
I would say like honestly, like the last 2, 3 weeks is when I figured out I would watch the market just to see how it was like the price action because I wanted to learn, and I didn't really like take the trade, but I was doing like I would make a plan and I would see, okay, if this happens, then this is like gonna work. I was kind of like making plans but not taking trades because I wanted to see how it plays out. And from there, like just watching the screen, it was just definitely building my confidence. I was like, okay, like this is working, this doesn't work. Like it's just depending, like if there's good price action, the market just does its thing, so it's just learning your edge. And for me, figuring out like certain key levels, it's like supply and demand, and then just a lot of hours of just watching the screen. That's definitely what's gonna like give you an edge on being able to make good trades. So it just comes with recognition, to be honest, like practicing. And it's not like anything, you're not gonna learn it the first try. It's gonna take time. And then when you develop that pattern and that recognition, it's all up from there.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree about that actually. It's like you could learn so much, but if you don't implement it yourself and if you don't actually see it yourself, it's going to be hard to actually absorb that information.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get
So
that.
you can learn a lot of things. It's like they say, like you can read a lot of books, but if you don't apply the action, there's no point. You know what I mean? So action, like talk is cheap, you gotta apply the action. And with that, you'll see like regardless, it don't matter like who you are, it doesn't matter. Like we will learn, like that's just the way our brains work. We constantly take in information and then we apply it, and then if it doesn't work, it's trial and error. And that's how you learn. So
Yeah,
that's why you win some, you lose some, you gotta pay your tuition. It's just like school, you pay your tuition to learn. You're paying your tuition to learn this, so it's just a matter of how you see things and what you want to invest into. So, but for me, it's definitely this is a skill that I will be able to like have forever and anywhere I'm at. So that's a beautiful thing about it. You're your own boss, you don't have to attend but I mean, it's just the matter of being confident and taking the leap of faith, and trusting your mentor, which, I trusted you, and then I also put in the work behind the screens, so did you. We had a lot of communication, and this is the what happens, so it's been a ride, and I've enjoyed every like single moment of it for sure.
I love to hear that. And what was your first impression of the mentorship?
I was definitely impressed by the way you explained things because I don't fully the vocabulary of trading is very hard enough, you know what I mean? So in order to understand things, you have to teach it in a way where other people are understand because not everybody learns the same. So the way you explain things to me was so like easy, and I really like that because it allowed me to comprehend. And now that I see it myself and I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, like this makes sense. Like, so that's definitely like it's very easy, it's simple and it's not confusing, and that's what like my first impressions were. And you're always like there, like if I send you a text, like if you're not busy, then you respond right away. So the communication is perfect. Like, and for those people that want taking it right now or for the near future, like it's definitely worth it. Like it's just trust yourself, have hope, and like believe in it and put in the work and you will get there for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And
Mhm.
I know that you had some experience just like looking at the stock market before you joined my program. So how has your perspective on trading slash the market evolved since joining the program?
Um, so the way my basically the knowledge that I got from this mentorship helped me see the market and understand it in like in a way where like now I see things and I see things develop and I have my own confidence now. And with that, like, I don't need to be in a Discord looking at signals or waiting for people to like, hey, buy in this now, like it's better to do it yourself, because in the long run, you're only hurting yourself by listening to other people's signals because you're not really learning anything. You know what I mean? So um with now that the way I know the market, I'm able to have a different perspective of like, okay, now I see like there's days where I didn't like price action, so I didn't trade, you know. I don't, so now I'm not trading every single day and feeling like I have to take a trade. If I don't like it, then I won't trade. But if I do, then I will. If I see my edge, then I take the trade. So in that perspective, it has helped me like be more disciplined as to like taking the trade, not taking the trade, which is very important because at first I feel like everybody wants to like take a trade because they feel like they want to have that like that little like instant hit of dopamine, you know, like, oh, I'm in the trade, like, you know, but it's not about that. It's about being able to preserve your capital as much as you can, and then when you see an opportunity to make more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. That is so true. That is a big, big point right there. And what do you feel that differentiates my mentorship program from other trading resources or courses that you've encountered?
Well, what I feel is that like you're very on top of your game, like you're constantly in the like in our chat, like trying to get us to have more screen time. And what I like about that is that it makes you be involved, you know, like we're constantly connecting with other traders within the chat, and um the organization of your Discord or the mentorship is very, very well put, you know. So it's like, oh, I have this question. Okay, here it is, you know. So I really like that. And then just like the form of communication, you know, like you're always there for whatever we need and whatever. Say if it's like, okay, we had a bad trading day, then we go over it and then, you know, so I just like that we're able to come to you and it's easy to communicate. And I definitely appreciate that because like versus other mentorships, you might have like 400 or, you know, so you're not able to give your time individually the way we do, you know, so it's definitely worth it 100%. And I like the way that you can teach things that you can simplify it, like versus other people like, you know, they get frustrated because you're not comprehending, but you know, everybody learns different, it's a different pace. So definitely being patient is very, very big. And I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And lastly, do you have any advice or words of wisdom for any other individuals who might be considering learning to trade or someone who might be considering my mentorship program?
The advice I have is take the leap of faith, you know, have faith in your mentor, but also it's not like up to her for your progress. She's gonna be the tools, but you need to learn how to build it right. You know what I mean? So you have to put in the time, you know. We can give you the tools, but you have to be able to use them correctly. So for the people coming in and the people that are in here, they need to apply themselves because without applying yourself, you're not going to learn and you're not going to get the most out of what you paid for or what you want. You know what I mean? And connect, you know, ask questions, and then you can also ask questions within the mentorship. You can ask other people how is it going for them, and it's so easy, you know, like everybody's friendly. We have our testimonial category, so everybody's posting what they've been through, how they're doing, you know, so that's very helpful. But also like the main thing, just do it, you know, don't be scared. If anything, let that fear be the leading factor as to why you do it, because we fear rejection, we fear failure, you know what I mean? But don't if you don't have that and you overcome that and then you get the skill and you master it, and you're like, dude, like this is a piece of cake, you know what I mean? So if anything, I would say like just do it, you know, like there's nothing to it but to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to thank you for sharing your experience and your journey. Definitely motivational story. And I'm just so proud of how far you've came in such little time. And I can't wait to like do another interview again, maybe like a year from now, and see how far you've come.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. Like it's just like I always talked about this, like I knew it was only a matter of time. And like I've always like talked about it, manifested it, like worked hard, you know, it's like constant failures. And you have to overcome the fear of failing because that's what's part of the process of success. You only fail when you quit. So as long as you're applying yourself every day, you will get there, regardless of if it's trading or anything else in life. Like you will get there. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like, it's crazy, like, in a year or couple like, or 2, you know, like, where we're gonna be, it's it's crazy. I'm excited.
I know. I'm excited too, and I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Genuinely, genuinely, and I'm really happy to have this conversation, and just the way that it ended, it's exactly what we wanted, and that's just what I love to hear, you know?
Of course, you know, we both put in the work, you know, and this is a byproduct of what we did and the amount of work we put in. So that's just the way it goes, you know, when you both put in work, it happens.
Mhm,
And that's just for any, you know, not just trading, but anything in life. So
mhm.
just
Yeah.
apply that and be confident and work hard and the sky's the limit.
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you a lot. I genuinely appreciate all the kind words that you had to say. It means a lot to me.